The following program contains graphic material, including offensive language. Viewer discretion is advised.
A Fox 35 News alert this morning. Some news cameras captured a wave of protesters right outside former President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate last night after a surprise raid by the FBI.
Still learning details of the operation. It reportedly aims to locate any classified documents the president may have taken from the White House during his tenure. And Amanda McKenzie is joining us in studio with more this morning. Amanda, there's certainly been swift and divisive action overnight over this.
And former President Trump and his allies say this is just a political tool to stop him from running in 2024. A large group of FBI agents executed an unannounced raid on President Trump's West Palm Beach home, Mar-a-Lago, on Monday. Federal authorities appear to be focused on potential classified material the former president took with him when he left the White House in January 2021, but not anything related to the January 6th Capitol riot. Agents reportedly took 15 boxes from the home. Protesters gathered outside the estate to show support for Trump.
I think this FBI raid is just like the fake impeachments and the fake January 6 hearings. They're just a bunch of bogus.
I believe our whole country is falling apart.
Reaction from politicians was swift on Twitter. Governor Ron DeSantis writes, quote, "The raid of Mar-a-Lago is another escalation in the weaponization of federal agencies against the regime's political opponents, while people like Hunter Biden get treated with kid gloves." And State Representative Anna Eskamani tweeted, quote, "I thought all these Republicans politicians cared about law and order," with the eye roll emoji. Coming up in 7 minutes, we'll go live to Washington as reaction comes into the nation's capital. Live in the studio, Amanda McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
$100 for this friggin' watch, and I'll tell you, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. How is it supposed to link up to YouTube and operate that? I mean, there's no way, there's no control here for that. I did try and call them about it, but yeah, they put me on hold. But the thing is I went through the manual and it doesn't say anything specific. I mean, they just kind of leave it to you to friggin', yeah. Huh? What? Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, hold on. Oh, hello, everybody. Nice to see everybody here. Welcome to the show. Sorry, here I was in the middle of friggin' having issues here with this damn smartwatch here that I got that I showed you before. It said something that you could use it to get onto YouTube and stuff like that with it, or actually, use it, set it up like a remote. If you're watching it on your cell phone, that it can actually, rewind, pause, play, whatever it is that you got, so, and it's not doing it. So I'm not sure what I'm not doing right here. They got this little tiny thin book, the user manual for it, and it just gives you the basics on how to turn it on and how to shut it off. And that's about all they tell you about it, So I have to go online, which I will after I do this video here, and see if I can't get any more information on how to run that damn thing. Okay, so today, well, not today, actually it was Monday. Monday, the FBI did a search on Donald Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago, okay, and they didn't say specifically what they were looking for, obviously, and they went in there, and I guess they were in that house for quite a while. I don't know how long, but it was hours and hours. They went in there, I guess it was like 10 o'clock in the morning. Hold on a second, I'm trying to turn this damn video here on. They went in there at 10 o'clock in the morning, or roughly about that time on Monday, and they were in there for hours, and apparently they needed to get into a safe that was in his home And Trump wasn't there. From what I understand, Trump was gone somewhere else in the country, and he wasn't there. You know, he was mad about it when he heard what was going on. Okay, and you know, he's like, well, you know, why didn't they just come to me in advance or something? It's like, well, no, they don't tell you when they're going to come and raid your house or come search for it for something in there. I mean, if they do that, then they tip their hand and they risk the person they're trying to get information from hiding it somewhere else. So no, they're not going to announce to you that, oh, by the way, we're coming to your house Monday morning and we're going to do a search. They don't tell you that. That's not how it works. Okay. They have to surprise you with these warrants, and so they can get you with your pants down, so that way you're not likely to run and hide or take whatever they're looking for and hide it. And frankly, I don't think the Justice Department really trusts Trump. If they ask him, can you provide this information that we need here? Can you bring it? I don't think they can actually trust him to do anything like that. And the best way they could get whatever the hell they're looking for is to simply do a surprise search, okay, with the FBI. So that says a lot right there, that, you know, if the Justice Department doesn't trust the former president of the United States to come forward with information they think is important enough to do the search, then, you know, hey, opinion is already being fostered in the government about him, you know. So, and of course, this had a huge reaction to the Trump supporters, and I mean huge. You can go on YouTube right now and watch all kinds of videos from just today. Today, you know, today's what? Tuesday the 9th here, okay, when I'm recording this. Anytime today, you're going to go to any Fox News report or any right-wing Trump supporter blog or whatever, and you're going to hear some venom out there. I'll tell you, a lot of it. And I'm gonna get to that in a bit here later. But they just, like I said, they blew up, and you know, there's a lot of guessing going on out there as to what it is the FBI is so interested in. What are they doing? And being how Trump is being investigated by so many ways, okay, so many different ways. I mean, the list is endless to what the FBI wants to get. I mean, it's like, you know, it's insane. It's like, you know, it's like guessing, you know, what's in this recipe here that, you know, this food tastes so good. What did you put in it? You know, you can be guessing and guessing and guessing, never get to the right thing. I mean, you know, Trump has made a reputation of breaking rules and breaking the law his whole goddamn life. And so, you know, to say and think, you know, one of my things that I said was maybe they found something that's he was responsible for with Jeffrey Epstein. Remember, because them two hung around a lot, even though he denies he even knew the guy, right? But there's a lot of pictures with the two of them together at different settings. So, you know, how do we know that Trump? They didn't find something out about, you know, him and Jeffrey Epstein in this you know, this women trade thing that, you know, goes on in the world here. You know, that maybe they found something that really puts him in a bad way, you know, and maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's got pictures and stuff in a safe, and they wanted to get that shit. And that means somebody might have squealed on him. Could be Ghislaine Maxwell. She's, you know, still sitting behind bars. You know, maybe she made some kind of a deal. You know, I know it sounds like, you know, idle guessing, but, you know, there's a lot of possibility there, you know, that could be something. I mean, they never really said anything about investigating the people that Jeffrey Epstein knew, you know, and they should, because, you know, the sex slave thing that goes on in the world doesn't just begin and end with one man. It starts, you know, with one, and then it multiplies. You have this whole system created all around the world here for people kidnapping girls and putting them in these situations. And that's what Epstein was doing. So, if Trump was involved in that in some way, that's definitely going to be an issue that they're going to want to investigate. And then, there's the tax issue. I mean, he don't pay his taxes. I mean, he's been lying about what he pays on his taxes and when he doesn't pay on his taxes. So it could be tax records they're trying to get from him that he's not divulging, okay? And they want it. They need it, okay? When it comes to not paying taxes, and especially in money as large as what he owes us, okay, they don't fuck around, okay, and so yes, if there's something there that they need, they'll go and get it, And he wouldn't be the first president, though. I mean, he wouldn't be the first person to hide income, okay, or to hide not paying taxes, okay? Christ, you could lock up half the damn country by the number of people in America who don't pay their taxes honestly, or just don't pay it at all. So I mean, it's crazy. And then let's see what else. I mean, issues about January the 6th. Maybe they found something about those missing 7 hours there of dialogue on a cell phone, and found out that he ordered somebody to erase all that shit. Okay, and maybe they got it on tape, or they got or the guy, whoever squealed on him, said he's got evidence of having said this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It could be information related to that. That he's interfering with an investigation, which is criminal offense. I mean, you can't do that. That's against the law. Like I said, the list could be endless. I mean, you just name it. I mean, I would not even put past them finding out that he had somebody executed, for Christ's sake. I mean, that's how bad this guy is. I mean, he really would be the kind of guy that if somebody got in his way, he'd have him offed. That's how criminalized this man is. And I wouldn't be surprised if this search was executed because of they found something so damning that they needed to have this in order to convince a jury that of a crime, so they have no reasonable doubt. And believe me, they didn't just wake up Monday morning and say, let's go search Mar-a-Lago, okay? They had to go to a judge and present the judge with a list of reasons why they needed to do this search. And to do this to a ex-president whom nobody really respects in this country, okay? Whether he's got ex-president or ex-king before him, okay? It doesn't matter. Trump is Trump, okay? But the fact is, because he was president of this country, it looks bad globally to other countries that this is happening to him. So that when they had to do this, they had to make sure that they had everything they needed to convince a judge that this search was necessary. Okay, they just didn't walk in there and say, we're doing this search and and that's it. Okay, I mean, you got conservatives on TV saying, oh, this is like Gestapo shit. Well, no, it doesn't even come close to that. Okay, if this was the Gestapo doing a search, they wouldn't have bothered to go to a judge and present the case to get the search warrant. They wouldn't have bothered knocking on the door or something like that. They'd have kicked the goddamn door in, and they would have gone in there with guns blazing, okay, and shot anybody who was in there, and they'd have simply, grabbed what they needed and set the fucking house on fire. No, this is not Gestapo tactics. These people were playing by the rules that they themselves supported when things were being done against Bill Clinton, searches and shit like that, okay? And now all of a sudden when we do it to them, it's, oh, no, you can't do this, that's like Nazism and shit, It's funny how it's coming out of their mouth, it's saying Nazism, when these people seem to love the idea of being dictators, But, that's beside the point. But the thing is that, they're trying to cloud the issue here by, for their Trump supporters that watch Fox or read their whatever from whatever. That's what they're doing. Okay, this is damage control time, and they're sweating bullets over there. They're sweating bullets, the Republicans, and I know Trump is too. And it's like, hey, look, this is the issue here to the core. If you live a life of crime, okay, do not be surprised when it catches up to you the way it is right now with Trump. It's caught up to him. All right, it's coming down on him like a ton of bricks. And right now, being as popular with some of Americans in this country as he is, you know, for whatever reason, these people are caught in a corner here where they don't want to know the truth about what they find. Okay, they don't want it to come out. They want the search to stop. They don't want anybody finding anything because they're afraid of what they're going to find. You know, that's what these people are doing. It's all fear. Okay, it's all fear that they're so scared that, you know, hey, they're going to find something about him that's going to convince me that this man was the wrong wagon to follow here, because, you know. And that's really what this is. It's not so much anger. It's just really, really, you know, people scared to death here now, that the Trump supporters. But you know, hey, here's the thing about these Trump supporters. They can shift their loyalty to Ron DeSantis and be happy with him, okay? You know, if Trump doesn't smell good anymore, they can just, you know, disavow they ever liked the guy and just pitch their tent with Ron DeSantis out of Florida, because he's Trump times 2, okay? He's worse than Trump. And if that's the way they want it, they can go ride in his fucking boat, you know? So they don't have to worry so much about Trump's image getting tarnished here. Trump did that all on his own. He did that to himself. It's not the government trying to destroy a man. It's a man who has a habit of destroying himself all the friggin' time. Okay, I mean, he can't even as a businessman, he couldn't do his job right. Okay, how many times did he go bankrupt? And yet he still has all kinds of money. You know, how a man, a millionaire, a multimillionaire, can go bankrupt? You know, Jesus. It's strange. I mean, if it would have been some regular citizen, they wouldn't have been, you know, so easily forgiven for debt, you know. But anyway, like I said, this is really what I woke up to here this morning when I saw this article, you know, or this actually heard on the radio. I'm sorry, heard on the radio about the search. I was like, oh, so they must have found something pretty incriminating there that they need to go verify by finding information. So I'm thinking somebody might have talked. You know, hell, even Giuliani. I mean, there's the stars are the limit here. I mean, there's a whole plethora of people who could have turned on Trump and gave the FBI exactly what they needed. I mean, maybe that was the piece of information that you know, ties up a whole investigation that might bring this to a conclusion. Who knows? But you know, like I said, it's a sign that maybe we're coming to the end of this. And this piece of information might be the death nail here to Trump, finally. And, of course, the conversation these days now is like, you know, could Trump even run for president after all of this? And, you know, I still say, look, even if he were to try, let's just say for the sake of talking, that he still puts his hat into the race. Okay, he serves his time in prison and all this shit, and he pays his big fine, and he comes out and he's going to run again. Yeah, he'll get voters. I mean, dingbats always do, right? So, I mean, it's like I told you before about any idiot can go out there and say something and you can get 100 people to agree with it, okay? But with Trump, he's already got that 100 people plus. And even though it's just a small group of people in America who really are loyal to him, the fact is, you know, they can, you know, spark or help him run for president. And, you know, he could run and maybe win, depending on who he's got to face in the GOP, like Ron DeSantis, who would probably chew him up and spit him out. Okay, but you know, let's say that they do that. Let's say that he goes through all this the ringer here, as it were, and he decides to run. Do you really think the rest of the country is going to go for that? Even if he manages to win the Republican nomination, America as a whole is not going to say, look, no, we went through this guy already, and I'm going to vote for this other guy or girl, whoever, and to hell with him. The Republicans would never have enough support to push him into the White House again. Not after all of this. No way. I mean, the Republicans themselves, a lot of them are turning on him already. Okay? A lot of people have left the party because of this bullshit that he is. You know? So it's just wishful thinking on their part that they could get another term as president from him. It's not going to happen. Okay? I'm sorry, but you guys are wasting your vote out there if you think that you can see this man sitting in the White House for another 4 years. I mean, come on. America just is not going to let that happen. I mean, after all the shit that they're dumping on him now, you know, the search, all the charges against him, all the freaking court dates and court appearances he's got to make, all the lawsuits. Jesus, I mean, who the hell's going to want that bag of oats in the goddamn White House? Jesus. I mean, you know the first thing he's going to do is pardon everybody that was responsible for January 6th, okay? And whitewash the whole fucking thing, okay? And basically piss on what's left of democracy in this country, and you know, that's it. You know that the first thing he's going to do is a criminal act in order to save his own neck. So why should we give this man the power to do just that? We want justice in this country. He has to answer for it. You know, that's how it works. You know, theoretically, no man is above the law. That includes the president, okay? I mean, here's a guy who tried to have his vice president murdered on January 6th. Riled up the crowd enough to get them to go in there and try to hang his ass, okay? Do you think that's a nice man to put in the White House? I mean, who cares how many women he fucked? You know, that's nothing, okay? But when you're talking about trying to kill somebody in the government, when you bring that up, and how many people he sent charging into the Capitol armed, and 5 people getting killed because of his, you know, things he said, you know, why would anybody vote for this guy or even give him airtime? You know, only certain idiots will do this, you know, and it makes people wonder, how does this guy still get attention from Fox News and other Republicans in the media or something like that, when he's so deeply ensconced in mud, as it were, you know what I'm saying? He's so deeply immersed in it right now. He's in over his head, okay? And yet, people out there still love him. And like I said, it's a small minority, because if you figure how many people vote in an election, and I guess statistically they say about 60 or 50% of the country vote in presidential elections. Okay, that's been the tradition here for a while, except for that last one. That was the exception to the rule here. And out of that 60 or 50% that vote, you figure 35 to 40% of those are going to vote Republican. Out of that Republican piece of the pie, about 8% of them will vote for Trump. Okay, so that's a small number of supporters there. I mean, that's what the Republicans won't really admit to people. They want to think like he has dominance over the whole party, but that's not true. There's Republicans out there that don't think Trump is a good answer for another presidency, and the only people that do is that small wackadoodle pie, that piece of the pie that really is out there to do whatever it takes, even launch, you know, armed fights in the streets to get people to vote or to stop people from voting against Trump. Okay? They'd have to kill an awful lot of people in order to accomplish that, especially when you look at how many people in America will vote against him. And if people in America feel like he's got a chance in hell at winning, that 60 or 50% I started off with could be 75 to 80% voting against him. Okay? So we would have that same landslide of people keeping Trump out of office once again. All right? And so that's not going to happen. I don't see Trump winning a goddamn thing, you know, except maybe a free ticket to prison. And I just don't think that, you know, it's possible for a man in his position to basically skirt the law, because whatever it is that they're searching his house for, it's got to be bad. It's got to be really bad, and they have to they had to be sure that they'd find what they was looking for there. So I'm hoping we'll find out soon what it is they were looking for, and maybe that's going to be a big bombshell later this week. I don't know, but for right now, for the remainder of this week, we're just going to have a lot of hot air blowing from the right, you know, screaming, hollering, threatening, doing all kinds of things to drum up the anger from their base. They want these people to go back out there and start another fucking riot like they did January 6th. I know that's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to try to do. Let's go to commercial break. We'll return now.
Dear CEO, what's it gonna take for you to do something? Yeah, do you even care?
Climate change affects all of us.
This is your chance to do something good.
It doesn't matter what comes, fresh goes better in life. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Nothing gets to you, staying fresh, staying cool. With Mentos fresh and full of life. Fresh goes better. Mentos freshness. Fresh goes better with Mentos fresh and full of life.
Mentos, the fresh.
Times during class, and I tell her to talk to him, and it's like, oh, ew.
Be a part of the entertainment value of a lifetime.
I loved it.
It was the best performance I've seen in a lifetime.
I loved the show. I liked it very much. He's a very entertaining man. It's well worth the money.
Now appearing in Charlottetown, coming to Halifax November 6th to the 18th, and St. John November 20th through the 26th.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. There's an article here from Mediaite that I want to read to you here that was published today, I think, yeah, today. And it's written by Alex Griffin, and it's entitled Reward Friends and Punish Enemies. Trump supporters talk retribution. Civil war after FBI Mar-a-Lago raid. As news broke on Monday night of the FBI's search of former President Trump's Florida mansion, pro-Trump commentators and online supporters immediately began to call for political retribution and raised the specter of domestic political violence. See, violence. It's all these fuckers know. The opinion editor of Newsweek took to Twitter and called for the punishing of quote-unquote enemies and noted that America is beyond civil discourse. Quote, the imperative of this late hour, in order to even attempt to rebalance our wildly off-balance pendulum, is to wield political power to reward friends and punish enemies, to reward good and punish evil within the confines of the rule of law, unquote, wrote Josh Hammer, urging his Twitter followers to, quote, wake up and learn what time it is, unquote. The FBI reportedly searched Trump's residence to collect classified material the president took from the executive office of the president instead of handing it over to the National Archives as is required by law. Trump released a statement on Monday confirming the search and claimed his quote-unquote beautiful home was currently under siege, raided, and occupied by a large group of FBI agents, unquote. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene baselessly claimed that Biden had quote-unquote weaponized the FBI against Trump. Oh, gee golly gosh. We try to have a law and order in this country, and she turns it into some goddamn, Mad Max scene here. Quote, this is the rogue behavior of communist countries, not the United States of America, unquote, Green tweeted. These are the types of things that happen in countries during civil war, unquote. See how easily she slipped civil war in there, meaning to say we should be having a fight on the streets, folks, so let's get on it, Representative Elise Stefanik played the fear angle and wrote, quote, if the FBI can raid a U.S. president, she left out ex-president, imagine what they can do to you, unquote. Stefanik's sentiment was shared by Donald Trump Jr., who tweeted a meme with a picture of his father saying, quote, in reality, they're not after me, they're after you. I'm just in the way, unquote. Yeah, here we go. He makes himself the victim. Oh, if I fall, we all fall. Jesus Christ. What an opinion he has of himself. Yeah, and here's the goddamn picture of him, this thing, I don't know if that's coming in through it. It says right up here, in reality, they're not after me, they're after you. It's freaking nut. House GOP leader Representative Kevin McCarthy put Attorney General Merrick Garland on notice to expect investigations if the Republicans retake the House, insisting Garland, quote, preserve your documents and clear your calendar, unquote. You see, this is what constitutes a policy in the Republican Party. It's not about saving America, making it strong again, creating jobs, dealing with climate change. No, it's about we need to get back in power so we can take revenge on the other side. Okay, that's going to be the only real. People need to remember that what Kevin McCarthy's saying here. They need to remember that, because this is what they're really going to be running on come the next presidential election, or even this November. That's what they're going to use as a narrative to drive people to the voting booths. Okay, because they don't have a damn policy to promote. They never do. Okay, their only thing is to slam the other side, drag them through the mud, accuse them for damn things they don't even have evidence to prove. That's all these people do, the Republicans. Right-wing American-Canadian political commentators Stephen Crowder took to Twitter and wrote, quote, tomorrow is war, sleep well, unquote. Former Trump advisor Sebastian Gorka offered a similar sentiment and called the FBI's actions a, quote, declaration of war, unquote. See, war, killing, this is what passes for the Conservative Party today, folks. These are people itching to topple a government. They don't love America. Whenever they say anything that sounds patriotic, do not believe that for 1 second. That's just bullshit propaganda that they use, to sweet talk people into thinking these are the real articles here. You know what I'm saying? That these people are on your side. Okay, just like when a child rapist wants to sucker a little girl or a little boy into their bed so they can molest them. You know, they got to groom them before they can do it, so they feel safe with the guy, right? It takes grooming. Sometimes it takes a few weeks of it before they finally, you know, get to the act. And that's what you know, that's what these Republicans are doing now. They're grooming their supporters to start in again. We're going to have another January 6th type incident in America. Probably true. I mean, I'm not going to say it ain't going to happen, but I'm saying that if these people are saying this shit now, you know the FBI's listening. They're not going to let this happen again the way it happened before. So they are aware of the problem here, okay? These people are talking, but they're also being heard by the Justice Department. Far-right conspiracy theorist Jack Posobiec, and yes, there are others than just Alex Jones, chimed in saying, quote, federal security state has declared war on Donald J. Trump and his supporters, unquote. Donald J. Oh, why? Is there another Donald Trump, you know, in America? I don't know. You had to put that J in there. Donald the Joker Trump. You know. But yeah, you see, this is the kind of yakking that was going on before January 6th, before they were trying to, you know, bring Biden into the office, okay? But, you know, to, you know, swear him in. That's the kind of stuff that was being said about it. Or, yeah, before, when they were certifying the vote, rather, not when they were swearing. But when they were certifying the vote that day, this was the kind of crap that was being said on the internet, on TV, or whatever, okay? And now they're doing it again. So they learned nothing through all these weeks and these months of investigating and hearing all these witnesses telling how things went, telling people how they manipulated folks to do what they wanted. All this stuff because they didn't watch this on TV, right? We know the Republicans didn't watch that because Fox News wouldn't air it. Fox News wouldn't play it. So these people didn't learn anything from these hearings because they were denied looking at it, or they denied themselves to look at it because they were told, oh, this is just a witch hunt. Don't waste your time watching it. And of course they said, yeah, that's right, it is a witch hunt. You know, so because they didn't watch it, they didn't learn anything. But if they had, they would have saw themselves being reflected here in this thing and saw a repeat of this. So, you know, because they didn't learn from history, they're going to repeat it again. You know, this is quick because this was just, you know, not long ago, and now we're going to repeat, you know, something here that just happened that we're still investigating. So, you know, it's sad that we have a country, we have a population that's this way, that they still won't catch on to the fact that what Trump was doing was wrong. He was in the wrong. They following him was wrong. But they were being led by the nose like sheep, led by a madman, whom they can't see as a madman. But, you know, maybe if he put a little mustache down here like that, it might go ding, 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 ding. Yes, he was a nut. But because he doesn't have that face of a madman, at least they don't think he has that face of a madman, they can't believe that he's a crazy nut, that he's a, you know, so they can't believe that. When they look at him, they don't see a bad person. They see somebody that's entertaining, somebody that, you know, can ramble on about nothing for 2.5 hours on a stage at a rally. You know, this is the fucking thing that he does, and they love it. You know, when he tells, you know, the government or Biden to go kiss his ass or something, they love it. You know, that's the way they are. As the rhetoric from Trump world ramped up, quote-unquote, civil war began trending on Twitter. Quote, a big spike in tweets referencing civil war right after the news of the FBI search of Mar-a-Lago broke last night, unquote, noted CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan, citing data minner, whatever you say that. And yeah, here they got a spike, a little graph here that shows over here Monday. This is Monday the 8th, and here's today. So the amount of times they were saying that shit just jumped right up there on Twitter as it was being referenced, and now it's just sliding back down as the conversation goes on. But you see how that's basically like being connected to electrodes and somebody saying something to you that really makes you uncomfortable. That's how that would look. That would like that. Well, that right there shows how many the Trump supporters, that was their reaction to when they heard that, okay? It jolted them more ways than one. First, it jolted them because they didn't like to see Trump being examined that way. And second, they didn't like the idea of the government being behind Trump being examined that way, okay? And they're also afraid that they're going to find something about this guy, or maybe that they already have, and they don't want to hear it. They don't want to know about it because that's going to, you know, that's going to force them to this come to Jesus moment that they don't want to have. Okay? So yeah, that I would see that happening. And that's where a lot of this anger, like I said, it's not anger so much as it's fear. Fear based in anger, okay? Or anger based in fear, rather. That's where this emotion's coming from. These people are scared shitless that the government found out something about him that's going to show the world that this man is corrupt to the core, okay? Blaze TV's Steve Deese tweeted, quote, "Fun fact, if the total amount of casualties in the Civil War were prorated for today's U.S. population, they would have eclipsed over 6 million people," unquote. The tweet was retweeted by far-right media personalities like the Daily Wire's Matt Walsh, and the comments became littered with calls to violence like, quote, "Is there that many lefties? Guess we will find out," unquote. Others made jokes about the Holocaust. Boy, I'll tell you, there is no line these people won't cross to say what they want to say out there. I mean, it's so revealing as to what these people are. You know, it's so revealing how, you know, racist and how misogynistic and how violent these people are. When you corner them, you can't reason with them. That's why you can't win a debate with a Republican. Okay, any of you people out there who have friends that are Republicans, don't waste your time trying to reason with them. They don't understand reason. They cannot sit down at a table and just talk quietly with you about stuff and bring facts to back up what they say. They don't have facts. They never do. Rarely do they ever have facts to come to the table when it comes to defending their point of view. Democrats usually do have facts, and that pisses them off. That really does. When you start quoting them facts, they tune out. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear your fucking facts, okay? They think that, you know, you're being brainwashed by television. Well, guess what? You're watching television, and we know you're being brainwashed. Okay, you're watching your Fox News, or not news, or whatever you want to call it. You're watching that bullshit station, and you're accusing the left of being brainwashed by the media, and yet here you are tuning in, and they got you thinking that Donald Trump is Jesus, the second coming, okay? When the rest of the world sees that man as a Hitler wannabe. Jesus, you know, how can there be two diametrically opposing opinions about one man? They can't both be true, right? So and so that's pretty much all of it right there. They put in like copy and pasted some comments here from Twitter, from some of the reactions that people had, and it's scary as to how many Trump supporters out there are willing right now to go into that, take that next step. You know, they're just waiting for some Steve Bannon or Alex Jones to come out and say, we're gonna go in there and we're gonna kill and we're gonna, you know what I'm saying? They're just waiting, you know, for some son of a bitch to rally them up again and march somewhere, bring your guns, you know. That's what they're waiting on. that's, I mean, if they don't get that word soon, they're probably going to go out and scatter themselves to the winds and try to do things on their own, but it's not going to work that way. It's like the blind leading the blind at that point. But they're mad, and even with all these people that's been arrested, nearly 1,000 people from January 6th having been arrested, and many tried and convicted, it didn't penetrate up here. Now, I know they know that fact. I know they are aware of how many people have been picked up and all that, and how some of them are on the run right now and they're still being looked for. I know they're aware of it, okay? But the fact that that's happened and they're out there looking or looking to start another fight shows that they're not paying attention. They're not on planet Earth yet. Okay, they're still living in the clouds with Donald Trump and figuring that we can do anything. We can overturn an election, we can overturn a government. Well, good luck with that, because you people that are thinking that probably never spent much time in the military, have you? Because if you did, you'd know that there are more ways to stop a revolution in this country than you can count on two hands. Okay, there really is. You people are outnumbered. You're outgunned. If the government wants to send in the National Guard, the fight's over, because you cannot stop that. You're going to be overwhelmed. I mean, you people out there with your little guns and all that, or with your AR-15s, you think that these people don't have body armor against stuff like that, that they don't know how to deal with people that have weapons? They're trained to go to war. Are you able to bring a war type scenario to these people, or is it just going to be a street fight, like gangsters and stuff? If it's going to be like that, you've already lost. They know how to deal with that instantly. They wouldn't even need the military so much. They just have the police do it. They know how to mop up a situation like that. Okay? So you guys living in this world where you think that you can do this again, like you tried to do before and you failed, even though you killed 5 people doing this. Okay? And how many people did you bring to the fucking table? Over, thousands of people, and you only was able to kill 5? Do you think that's going to matter when you're trying to do this, again, and try to overthrow it? Jesus. And as many of you people that were armed, I mean, where was the actual, fighting that was going to happen? I mean, why didn't you go into the Capitol with your guns opened up and just kill everything you saw? You didn't do any of that. So if you're not going to take that step to do that kind of a fight, then you guys aren't going to fight and win this thing. It's going to be over in like a few hours. You're all going to be dead because you opened up on military, and they have every authorization to shoot and to kill. They're not going to try to take you prisoner. They're not going to arrest you. If they're being fired on, they will return fire and shoot to kill. Remember that. You're not even going to know what hit you. You're going to be dead on the ground before you even realize you've been hit. So hey, if you want to do that, sacrifice yourself. That's going to pave the way for a much brighter future for the rest of the country. Please go out there and start something. Let's clear the air in this country. We really needed an air clearing in America for a very long time. Thanks to people like Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity and Ann Coulter and the likes. Okay, these people have turned our country into a pigsty of propaganda and total bullshit being thrown at us every which way, to the point where our media is completely wrecked. Okay, we can't trust anything we hear on the news practically anymore. We can't trust anything that any politician says, to the point. I mean, it's even damaged the Democrats' word in a lot of ways too, because we hear about corruption in politics so damn much now that we just figure they're all corrupt. We can't even see the good ones when they're there. People like Bernie Sanders or something. We can't even tell the good ones from the bad anymore. Okay? So the right wing has done a pretty damn good job messing up America. Okay? Messing up the country for what? Because they don't like the form of government we had? Because they'd rather the businesses have free reign not to contribute to this country and operate here at the same time? Is that what this is all about? Money? Power? Well, maybe that's what it is. And if people are in a lot of money and have a lot of power, then maybe they need to be removed from office, because we can't trust them not to be corrupted by it all. Okay, we just can't. Not everybody is going to enter into the arena of politics and play it on the up and up, unfortunately. So anyway, that's it for today, and I hope everybody has a great rest of the week. So please keep your ears open to local COVID-19 and news and anything about the monkeypox, and comment and subscribe. I'd like to hear from all you people, and treat each other nice. You know, don't step on people's toes. I know in this day and age it's easy to go around and start fights and stuff, but resist the urge to do that. Even if you see somebody doing something you don't like, okay, like you know, talking about something that you don't agree with or something, just keep your comment to yourself, and you know what I'm saying? Or if you have a problem, talk to somebody, a third party, if you will, about it, and maybe they can do something in a civilized fashion about it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So take care, everybody. Talk to you later.